percentages. When we look at percentages, they're really just fractions out of 100. So if we ate half a pizza, it says we cut our pizza into 2 pieces and we ate one of them. We could have cut our pizza into 4 pieces, and if we'd still eaten the same amount of pizza, we'd have an equivalent fraction of 2 over 4. A percentage is saying, well, actually we cut our pizza in this case, into 100 pieces, and if we'd been eating exactly half still of the pizza, well, that's 50 out of 100, which is 50%, or of course it's a half, or 0.5. So a fraction can be written as a fraction out of 100, which is the same as a percentage, and also the same as just representing as a decimal. So our first thing we have to be able to do is convert. So to convert a percentage to a fraction, just change your percent sign, which we mean, remember, percent means for every 100, and the percent sign, if you think about rearranging it, looks a little bit like it's made up out of a 1 and 2 zeros, or 100. So to convert a percentage to a fraction, we simply put our percentage sign underneath as a denominator of 100. So 12.5 over 100. And we simplify our fraction. So 12.5 over 100. Simplify it. Remember, we can't have a decimal in a fraction. We have a couple of different options to simplify that. We can say, well, that's 125 over 1,000. Just multiply both sides by 10. And then, of course, 125 over 1,000. What number goes evenly into it? I believe 125 does. Double check. 1,000 divided by 125. 8 times 1 over 8. 160%. 160. Put it over 100. Simplify. We've got, obviously, if we've got more than 100% or more, we've got a mixed number. So that's 1 and 60 over 100. Simplify our 60 over 100. Well, that's 6 over 10. And 3 over 5. 1 and 3/5. Remember, you can always use your calculator to help you simplify. So if we'd been a little bit uncertain, 160 over 100, 8 over 5, or 1 and 3/5. If we're converting a percentage to a decimal, so our rule for converting a percentage to a fraction, is change percent to denominator of 100 and simplify. Sorry about my tiny writing. If we're converting a percentage to a decimal, the rule is very easy. Divide by 100%. And all that means is get rid of our percentage sign and divide by 100. So we move our decimal place 2 spots, or a decimal point, 2 spots to the left, and we have 0.46. Or if we're feeling uncertain about dividing by 100, 723 divided by 100, 7.23. So because we're dividing by 100%, the 2% signs cancel out, but you can just remember, get rid of the percent sign and divide by 100. To convert a fraction to a percentage, we multiply by 100%. Now, there's a couple of different ways we can think about this. We can set up a multiplication. So 1/4 is 1/4 times 100% over 1. That would be 1 lot of 100% divided by 4. 100 divided by 4, that's 25%. So we can do it that way. You can just remember, let's look at the 3/5. To divide out your fraction, get it to a decimal. So remember, a fraction to a decimal, top divided by bottom. So let's deal with 3/5. 3 divided by 5 equals, it's 0.6 as a decimal, and to get a decimal to a percentage, we times by 100, 60%. So you can just do top divided by the bottom times 100%. That's nice and easy. Sorry about my dodgy writing. If we've got a mixed number, we've got two different options. So that 2.5 as a fraction, that 2 wholes is going to be 200%. So we can say, all right, I know it's 200%, and then just convert the half. 1/2 times 100 is 50. Or we can make it into an improper fraction and multiply by 100% if we want. So often easier just to get it to a decimal first. 2.5 and times by 100% to get it to be 250%. Now really I should have shown you how to convert a decimal to a percentage first, because that's the easiest bit of all. That's where we times by 100%, and it's very, very easy. So that multiply by 100% works for decimals to percentages and fractions to percentages. And just move our decimal point 2 spots when multiplying, so it's 2 spots to the right, and put a percentage sign, 45.8%. But I've just multiplied by 100%. 17.5. Remember, as a decimal, any whole number means, that's a full 100%. This is 1700%. So when I multiply by 100, I have a very large number indeed. So we need to be able to convert a percentage to a fraction or decimal, and convert a fraction or a decimal back to a percentage. And it's easiest if you remember that really a percentage is just a fraction out of 100, an amount for every 100%.